What's going on out there, guys? Jeff, Torpedoes and Tarantulas, back again, doing another video tonight. As you've probably gathered at this point, this is not an arachnid update video. This is not a cigar review video, although I am smoking a cigar as I'm doing this video. In memory of someone. Tonight is a in memoriam video to someone that sadly we lost last night. That was very big in the heavy metal world, very influential in that genre of music, and it's just really a tough blow for all of us loyal fans out there. And of course, most of you metal fans out there who are watching this video probably already have received the gut-wrenching news that last night we lost Vincent Paul Abbott, Vinnie Paul of Pantera, and hell yeah, older brother to Dimebag Darrell, who was gunned down on stage in 2004. Such tragedy in that family. And now the founders of Pantera are gone. But I'll tell you, they will never be forgotten. So I thought I would just kind of do an in memoriam video tonight on Vincent. And while I was at it, I was going to smoke a cigar and kind of just talk about their music and the impact it had on my life. And then towards the end, kind of share a couple of run-ins I had with Vinnie and his brother and how awesome the people they were. They were just such great people. So sit tight, guys. I'm going to get back here in a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit about Pantera. Okay, guys, here we are back again. I'm just going to tell you kind of a little bit of my background and when I first discovered Pantera. Unfortunately, it wasn't until, I guess you would say, the late, mid, or the early, late 90s, probably about Far Beyond Driven, that I actually discovered their music. But as soon as I heard them, they were automatically a favorite band of mine. I was in my late teens, early 20s, and their lyrics, their music, the hard, raw, just angry tone of it all was just conveyed everything that I felt at that time. And so, you know, basically Pantera became a soundtrack to, you know, my adolescence and all the activities that we did and the people that I hung out with, and like I said, all the things we did and all the places that we went. There was Pantera playing somewhere. And so they've always had a huge influence on my life. As most of you know, music can affect your emotions, and music really should affect your emotions. If it doesn't, then what's the point of having music? So, like I said, Pantera's music conveyed my emotions in a way that I couldn't relate to people, so I really loved them for that. And they were a really awesome band. It's sad that we will never see a reunion, but their music will live on, regardless of what happens. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back in just a minute after I get a shot of bourbon and another beer and kind of talk a little bit more about meeting the guys. Okay, so I retrieved my bottle. I still haven't taken a slug, but it's not Crown Royal. But this slug right here is for you and for Dime, Vinnie. You guys are reunited again. You're jamming up there in the sky. We can't wait to meet you guys again. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, like, the first time I actually saw Pantera. I listened to them for years, loved their music, thought they were the greatest band in the world. And then I finally got a chance to see them at Ozfest 2000. And it was the greatest experience. I mean, there was a lot of up-and-coming bands that nobody had heard of. They were on the second stage, like Disturbed and guys like that were just getting started. And then you go over to the main stage, and I can't remember who else was playing. Of course, they opened for Ozzy, naturally. But that was the first time I saw Pantera live, and just the chaos in the venue as they were playing, and just the response from the fans was just so fucking awesome that I just knew that Pantera was a very, like, emotional and visceral and just in your face, get to you band that I fell in love with them even more. I mean, I love Pantera. Well, you know, shortly after that, they released their final album as Pantera. Unfortunately, Revolution is my name. I heard about it on my local rock station for maybe 2 months before that they were going to be at a local record store in Dallas, right down the road from where I live. And they were going to be signing autographs on the day that the album was released. The job I had vacation days, so I put in for a vacation day on that day. And I took a day off, and I went to Dallas to get the new album and meet Pantera. I'm going to take a little break. I'll come back and finish the rest of that story. Now, as I was saying, guys, when I met Pantera for the first time, they released their album in 2000. Sorry, let me turn that down just a little bit. It's a badass sound, though. Badass drum line, badass bass line. Anyway, so found out about this a couple of months beforehand. Took a vacation day from work. Jumped in my car and drove up there that day to the record store in Dallas where they were supposed to be. Now, granted, this was in early 2000s, so that was, kind of the infancy of the cell phone stage. I did not have one, and nobody had GPS on cell phones at that point. So it was still a Mapsco kind of thing, and I brought my Mapsco with me and tried to find the street that I needed to find, and got lost in downtown Dallas, and actually had to stop at a service station and ask for some directions. Finally found my way to the record store. I was maybe the 18th person to be there. I tried to get there pretty early. I mean, I was there like 3 hours before they were supposed to show up. It was maybe the 18th person in line. They had a zigzag velvet rope queue through there that we all lined up in, and we're hanging out, and I had brought a couple of beers with me, but I never did want to get out of line to pop one, and I didn't bring anything else with me, but every once in a while I could catch a whiff of what I didn't bring and think, damn, I wish I had some of that. But anyway, I talked to some of the people in line, and we just kind of got to know each other, and the crowd grew and grew and grew, and the sun went down, and we're like an hour from the band showing up, and a DJ from the local rock station that we'd been hearing about this event, that rock station, the DJ was there, and he had been kind of talking between songs, they were doing a live, what do you call it, upload or whatever, not upload, but you know what I mean, they were broadcasting live from the record store, and the band was a few minutes late, and Robert, bless his heart, just kept talking, trying to keep everybody that was there and people that were listening on the radio, kind of entertained, and the crowd that was there was starting to get a little restless, so they started to jeer him, give him a hard time, and then the limo went by, and when it did, the whole place went apeshit, for lack of a better word, and this queue disappeared, and we were just a big blob of bodies in front of the door. Some of the people I had been hanging out with in line for the last couple of hours made a push for the door along with a lot of other people, and one of the guys, he had this big-ass pink mohawk, and I know it took him hours to do because he had individual spikes, and there was like a dozen of them, and these shits were like 12, 14 inches tall. He said, "Come on, follow me." So I followed him, and we were ducking underneath these little velvet ropes and got up toward the front, and the Pantera security was up there, and the guy comes out and says, "I need 10 people at a time, and he goes to count, and he's like, you, and you, I was number 9 or 10 of the first group to go in, right? So I was just, the anxiety level was just insane. I was going crazy. I was starstruck, and I hadn't even seen him yet. I didn't know what I was going to say to him. I didn't know what I was going to do. Of course, the first thing you do is you go in, you go over, you get the CD, the cashier checks you out, you get the CD, and then you go over and you get in line to meet the band at the table. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go get another drink. I'm going to change songs, and we'll get right back to the rest of the story. Okay, so I'm inside the record store. I have now bought my CD. I am in line to meet the band. I'm wearing my Dallas Stars cap. You know anything about Pantera, they had a big kind of partnership with the Dallas Stars. I was a huge Dallas Stars fan, huge Pantera fan. Like I said, my mind's racing. I'm like, am I going to be able to get the CD signed? Am I going to be able to get my hat signed too? Am I going to be able to get, a picture with him or whatever, And then I'm like 2 people away from the table. I can see the guy sitting there, and like 2 people away, the kid with the pink mohawk's right in front of me, right? Well, then I come up, the kid that was in front of me came up to meet them, and of course, Dimebag Darrell was at the very end of the table. This kid was smart enough that he brought a camera, disposable camera, you remember those guys? Gave it to the security guy. The security guy took a picture of this guy and Dimebag Darrell together, and then he moved down the table. And when I went up there, we'd already been told this, only one item to be signed. The security guy, big hulk of a man, tells me, only one item to be signed, to be autographed. And I said, you mean besides the CD? And he goes, what fucking part of only one item to be autographed don't you fucking understand? I was like, I understand crystal clear, dude. Turns out that was Jeff Mayhem Thompson, who was killed on stage along with Dimebag Darrell that night. Anyway, I lay the CD down in front of Dimebag Darrell. He signs it, slides it over to Vinnie, and he asks me, he's like, dude, have you heard the new album yet? And I'm like, no. The only song I've heard is Revolution Is My Name, So, I haven't heard it. And he goes, dude, this album will change your fucking life. And at this point, Vinnie Paul signed it, and he's nodding in agreement, and he slides the CD over to Rex, who's next in line. He looks at me and he goes, you ain't bullshitting, dude. We put our all in this album, and it's a kick-ass album, so we really hope you enjoy it. After that, I don't remember much. Dimebag, I can't remember the whole conversation, but Dimebag was talking to me the whole way down the table. Rex said a couple of words to me. The CD was slid down to Phil, and this cocky son of a bitch was sitting there with his head down, his hair in his face. He had that long hair, And you've seen photos and videos with him in that prison inmate shirt. That's what he was wearing. And he had his head down, hair in his face, the CD slid over in front of him. He lifted his head up and kind of shook his hair out of his face and went, Big Daddy, all right. And that's all he said to me. And he was the last one to sign the CD. I go outside. The crowd was much bigger than it was when I went in. I held the CD up. The crowd went fucking nuts. I got in my car, drove off, high as a fucking kite. Halfway home, I'm listening on the radio, and the cops shut that thing down because the crowd got too rowdy. So there was only like maybe 2 or 3 groups of 10 people that actually got in there that night that they released that album in Dallas, Texas, to get the CD signed. So anyway, my CD skipping, I'm going to address that and come back and tell you the second time I met Vinnie. Anyway, here we are back again, guys. Second time I met Vinnie Paul was fall of 2008. I had moved to a different town, made new friends, that group of friends that I was hanging out with, and we listened to a lot of Pantera. I'm not in contact with any of those guys anymore, but I did meet some more Pantera fans, and like I said, make new friends. Was in a relationship, moved to a different town, found out from the same local rock radio station that Vinnie Paul was going to be hosting a Halloween party at a particular bar in Dallas. That Halloween bugged my old lady and bugged my old lady and bugged my old lady until I got out of walking the kids around trick or treat and let her take that. And she let me go to this Halloween party with a very good friend of mine. Naturally, we did kind of the costume thing. I had a costume that my grandmother had made when I was a child for my granddad. One year, they used to get into costume contests all the time. It was he was Uncle Sam, she was Statue of Liberty. I put on the Uncle Sam costume. I painted my face up like a skull. And my buddy, he had long hair, and the only costume he had over the last couple of years was 4 braids in his head, white paint, and black around his eyes. And he was Brandon Lee from The Crow. Anyway, we went up to the bar where he was having this party, and at one point, Vinnie Paul came by, and we jumped up, shook hands with him. He asked, are you having a good time? And we're like, oh yeah. And he's like, that's great. That's the whole point of this thing. Y'all have a great fucking night. You have a drink on me. And then ran off. Of course, we had a drink on him. He and Dimebag were 2 of the greatest fucking people you could ever know. That's been my experience with these 2 guys. I hope that you guys have had some good experiences. I issue a challenge to those of you out here watching my videos. Share some of your experiences with Pantera, Dimebag, and Vinnie, and all that. Thanks so much for watching. That's the end of my video. Take care. God bless. R.I.P. Don and Vinnie. Y'all are jamming in heaven now. Later on, y'all.